John Bauer's off pole position, Glenn Seaton alongside Alan Jones. He's happy about that. And Dick Johnson alongside him.
Third row of the grid is Tony Longhurst from Peter Brock, Mark Larkham and Greg Murphy on the fourth row.
That's a good effort by Mark Larkham also. Russell Ingall and Larry Perkins, they had some understeer problems. They're further back than where they'd like to be. John Faulkner's done well, and so too has Trevor Ashby. They share the sixth row.
Row 7 of the grid is Stephen Richards and Terry Finnegan. Row 8, Paul Romano, who unfortunately had a prang in the Privateers Cup and won't be racing, and Kevin Heffernan.
We go further back to row 9. John Trimble makes his return. The Queenslander Danny Osborne, young Darren Hossack and Ian Palmer off row 10.
Row 11, which is a long, long way back here, is Kieran Brewer and Mike Conway.
Well, Barry, let's have a look at this very interesting and always exciting Lakeside Raceway.
Well, it's not very long. It's only 2.41 kilometres. As you can see, it goes in the right-hand direction very, very fast. This circuit, believe it or not, is virtually as quick as Phillip Island. It's very, very hard on the left-hand rear tyres of the car and also on the left-hand fronts turning into corners.
Well, the grid there, very colourful. It's going to be exciting. We are missing Alan Jones. There he is in the pits.
That is such a shame because Jonesy really had the race face on this.
Well, the word that we get from race control, he's got some front tyre problems and will unfortunately have to start from pit lane. Mark Osel, that's devastating.
Certainly is. Had to come into the pits to get some new rubber. That means he starts from the back, but we get a green light. All Fords at the front. John Bauer gets trounced by Glenn Seaton off the line. The two Shell Fords will go side by side into the kink and down to the carousel for the first time.
Glenn Seaton, what an unbelievable start. They head into the carousel. Let's hope they get through here cleanly. Johnson is around the outside. We go on board with Russell Ingall. He is right up behind the Mitre 10 Falcon of Mark Larkham. He gets out of the carousel quite nicely, but you can see he's got a lot of cars in front of him. Someone is out in the dirt.
On the dirt.
Dunlop onboard camera. You're riding with Russell Ingall, the enforcer, as he tries to push his way past Mark Larkham. Larkham very quick in qualifying, his best result so far in the Mitre 10 Ford, and he's really got his hands full here as Ingall applies the thumb screws on this first opening lap. Top 10 cars covered by 0.6 of a second. Can you believe it?
Well,
how tight and competitive it is at Lakeside today.
Problem is on this circuit, the difficult thing is to get past, you know, because it's very, very quick. And by the time somebody gets their nose in, that person's closed the door. So you have a look here at the end of the straight into the right-hander. See, Seaton's got it covered, you know, right up the inside. And it's interesting to see the battle between John Bauer and Dick Johnson. So obviously they don't want to sort of knock each other off, but it's a difficult situation when someone's trying to get past.
The Mobile HRT cars have got up there as we go on board with Dick Johnson in the Shell Helix Falcon. He's sitting in third spot looking for every opportunity to get past his teammate John Bauer. They're saying Brock and Murphy have come up. Tony Longhurst has dropped back. Oh, that's a Palmer and Larkham.
Oh, dear me.
Boy.
The Larkham bug strikes again.
How many black cats has he run over? I don't believe this guy. He's had his best qualifying performance. He's got tangled up with Palmer. Coming out of the carousel, you can see there's a lot of damage there. And we've got a red flag situation. They're stopping the race. They would have had no other choice. Tim Schenken-Clark, of course.
They got no choice there, Mark, because, I mean, there's no way anybody can get past. It's narrow enough as it is.
Here's the Shell Helix replay for you. It's coming out of the carousel, and there's Larkham.
Oh, Larkham lost it already.
Getting very sideways. Ingall does a good job to miss. Where's Faulkner going? He pulls it on the inside as well. Does he escape?
Oh, no, he does a little bit.
Now the Lansdale car, he's trying to squeeze through. He may just clip the back. Yes, just to rub the paint. Now we've got
John Trimble coming through. Here's it from another angle.
Larkham, you can see he's spun around there. Car's trying to get through. Alan Jones, man.
Oh, T-bone.
Well, Alan Jones managed to squeeze through, but Palmer had nowhere to go. Brakes locked up straight into the side of the Mitre 10 Ford. And Mark Larkham, can you believe it? Very
much heated scenes in the pits. Look at them. It's Ingall and Larkham, and Larkham is very, very angry.
Yeah, and his last words were, "That's two I owe you." So that sounds pretty ominous.
So perhaps more to it than what we actually got to see.
And don't forget that Russell Ingall was on a $2,500 good behaviour bond
after Eastern Creek. So we'll try and get to the bottom of that one for you. Positions changing on the grid. We are back to original starting position, so it's an absolute blessing in disguise for Alan Jones. There is Russell Ingall. He apparently, the word we get through, has some clutch problems, and he will be starting in pit lane. Terry Finnegan is off as well.
And also for Dick Johnson, after the melee happened, he came back up on the dummy grid and he had a rear puncture. So it's kind of lucky for Dick Johnson and for Alan Jones. Alan Jones will be more than pleased about this.
Terry Finnegan will be very disappointed because after his great round, we've got the restart. Here we go. This is John Bow's second chance, but Seaton once again gets away to a tremendous start. Then we go back to Bow. AJ sits in third. Dick Johnson, Peter Brock's got up there. Tony Longhurst, and look at Larry Perkins nudging his way through.
You got to say that Seaton has got it made when it comes to the starts. You know, even now, quarter of a lap and he's pulling away.
Glenn Seaton, so he's done it. 2 from 2, got away to an excellent start. Here we are on board with Peter Brock going through underneath the Dunlop Bridge, 215, 220 kilometres an hour down into Hungary. Sitting in behind Dick Johnson as they climb the hill. Alan Jones can't believe his luck at the moment, I would imagine. After starting from pit lane in the original start, he gets to go back and he's sitting up in third and sitting pretty at the moment.
Well, Jonesy has been so aggressive all the way through qualifying and practice. You know, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Jonesy have a really look at sizing up John Bow there. It'd be a bit brave to get through on that fast left-hand kink.
Well, Jones was quickest in both non-qualifying sessions yesterday, grabbed third in official qualifying. He's happy. They've made a lot of improvements, and that's the disappointing thing about Mark Larkham, because they went back to Eastern Creek and did considerable testing and obviously got a lot of improvements from it.
Well, they had, you know, and the poor guy, your heart goes out to him, and as you saw, he wasn't very happy with Russell Ingall.
Well, Glenn Seaton, last time he won here at Lakeside, won a round here at Lakeside, was in 1995. Of course, Craig Lowndes got the clean sweep last year, 3 from 3.
Both the Commodores of Brock and Murphy have been suffering with the setup problems. Murphy was saying he just can't get the balance right on his car, and when we see how far back he is now, Murphy's in 8th place and not making up a lot of ground.
Through the kink at around 250 kilometres per hour. Seaton, Bow, Jones, then back to Johnson, Brock, Longhurst, Larry Perkins has got up there ahead of Greg Murphy. So the Castrol Perkins car made some improvements overnight. Unfortunately, some bad luck for Russell Ingall with those clutch problems, so he's got a lot of work to do from rear of grid. Here's a replay of an earlier incident. This is the colour scan car by the looks of things. Danny Osborne spinning on the exit on the exit of the carousel rather, and straight on into the Armco.
That's exactly the same fashion and exactly the same place as Paul Romano ended up earlier on.
Back to it. Seaton leads the way from John Bow. It's a fairly even gap between top 3 and the top 4. Keep in mind of just how close it was in qualifying, 0.6 of a second separating the top 10. It's just unbelievable.
I'm really surprised the first 4 are as spread out as this, because when you see how hot it's been in qualifying, and are you surprised?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I'm just looking further back though. There's a good battle going on between Longhurst, Perkins and Murphy, and John Faulkner's right behind them. There's your Shell race score. Through they come. There's Faulkner sitting in behind. They come down into Hungary one more time. Seaton is very happy with the car. He was saying yesterday, he said, if I can describe my car, it's a pretty boring old car. I never have to change it. I wouldn't think that's boring. No, that's pretty good.
Well, that's great. You know, that's a sign of a good car or a good motorbike, really. You take it to a racetrack and do good in it, put it back in the transporter and take it to the next circuit. And if you don't have to change it very much, that shows you your basic thing you're working with is right. You know, the basic chassis setup, geometry setup, and watching Seaton's thing through the fast kink they've just come through in qualifying yesterday, his thing looked like it was on rails. It's going to be interesting here with the track temperature now. The temperature is crawling up, and that surely has to play into the hands of the Bridgestones. But having said that, this is a new generation Dunlop tyre they're running.
The top 5 cars in qualifying, all Falcons. And we look again at 5th position, and it's held down by Peter Brock. So he's come up one position better. There is the Windscreens O'Brien profile for Glenn Seaton, the Ford Credit Racing outfit. He was the champion in 93, second in 94, 95. Sandown twice winner of that. Bathurst still eludes him. Australian 1000 on October 8th. It could be his this year. There's his form this year. First at Sandown, first at Eastern Creek, 2/3 Symmon Plains and Winton. He's done very well so far. He's been so consistent as we see a bit of a battle going on between Dick and AJ.
Yeah, Dick is definitely giving AJ the hurry up. Right, this is on board with Dick Johnson. Oh,
The inside move, Johnson's got him.
That's a brave move there.
Fantastic racing move there by Dick Johnson on the inside of Alan Jones, and here comes Peter Brock as well. He's putting the acid onto AJ. Longhurst is there, also Larry Perkins. This is great. So, the view from the front of Peter Brock's mobile HRT Commodore, whether Alan Jones is experiencing some problems because he was able to hold Dick out, and now you can see Johnson's got quite a good buffer on him.
Yeah, I'm sure Jones has got some kind of problem because you don't start slowing up that much that early on. This is quick. That's a very fast left-hand king. We're on board with Peter Brock now. He was going through there earlier on in a practice, and somebody moved in on him, came out the pits and moved across on him, and he actually hit the curb with a near side front tyre, and it hit the curb so hard it actually cracked his windscreen. So luckily enough, it seems that he's got the thing sorted out now.
Alan Jones able to hold him at bay, but have a look at Tony Longhurst. It's great to see Tony up so high in the Castrol Falcon. It was his best qualifying effort this year and for quite some time when he qualified the car in 5th position. But Larry Perkins in the Castrol Commodore is all over the back of him, and so too is Greg Murphy on Perkins. Sweeping round the right-hander onto the main straight. It's still Seaton, Bow, Johnson. Then we have a look at this battle here between Jones and Brock. Tony Longhurst, he said, don't discount me today. He said, I'm feeling good. I love it here at Lakeside, and the tyres are working very well. 230 kilometres per hour. That was Peter Brock's speed on the laser radar.
Murphy's got the look of impatience there. He's getting a little bit fed up with sitting behind Larry Perkins.
We've got a good little freight train forming. There's the quick shot underneath the Dunlop Bridge when they hit about 220, 225 kilometres per hour underneath there. A very fast section of the circuit. But it's Jones in the Komatsu Falcon that's holding Brock at bay at the moment. How much longer will this go on?
You just have a look coming into this. Look how hard it is on the front and the rear left-hand tyre. It's very, very quick and downhill that corner, and all the inertia, all the weight is on the front of the car. So in the latter stages of the race, when we start getting round sort of 15, 16 laps, you can see a lot of people in a lot of tyre problems.
Well, Glenn Seaton's still the quickest man on the track with a 51.6. Greg Murphy's also putting in some good time, so perhaps they've overcome the problems they were experiencing yesterday with balance and setup. Murphy is closing the gap on the back of Perkins, but have a look at Longhurst and Brock. That's a great battle through underneath the Dunlop Bridge again.
It's great for Longhurst because Longhurst is one of the only top Yokohama runners here, so he has no sort of feedback from the other guys, and you know, he's doing a really good job. You know, obviously the Yokohama isn't that bad a tyre. Otherwise, if it was, he couldn't be up there.
Faulkner, top privateer, sitting there in 10th position. There's Ingle working his way through the best that he can. He's further back in 11th position. Tony Longhurst is in the top 10 in terms of the championship, back on 168 points. He's in fact behind John Faulkner. In the cockpit now with Peter Brock.
Oh,
Alan Jones locks it up.
AJ.
He's drifted very wide on the carousel there. Brock is all over the back of him. They come out. This is a very fast and exciting section of Lakeside Circuit. We'll have a look what Peter Brock can do on the entry into Hungry Corner coming up in a matter of seconds. That's how quickly they'll get there. Here's the Windscreens O'Brien view for you from Peter Brock's mobile HRT Commodore.
To me, it looks like Jones's entire problems. You know, if you look, just watch the action of the car, and it seems to be wallowing. Looks like the tyres are getting hot.
As they come down off the eastern loop, it gave you a good look of just how far out in front Seaton, Bow and Johnson are. They're just streaking away from these guys running in the middle of the pack. Here we go, another shot. Look at Brock work hard. This is the last time we'll see the king of the road at Lakeside, and let's hope he gets a good 3 results today. 234 down the main straight through the kink, so it was quicker, 4 kilometres an hour quicker than last time. Pretty sure that's the speed coming into the carousel as we go to our high shot through underneath the Dunlop Bridge. The distances between those 5 remain about the same, so Jones is doing a great job to hold Brock off.
Yeah, in the meantime, Seaton seems to be, well, not taking it easy, if you like, but he's running.
Here he goes.
Oh,
He's got him. Brock on the inside of the Komatsu Falcon. So Peter Brock moves up one position better. He now is in 4th position. And look at the guys at the back. Murphy's come right up on the inside. He's got
touch of Longhurst.
Oh, that's a very fast section of the circuit for that to be happening. Longhurst, what a great job to hang on to it. Through the carousel. How about that, Baz?
I reckon that would have wound up Tony Longhurst's heart rate, because as you say, to go through there, I mean, a little touch somewhere is not so bad. But Longhurst with AJ.
Thought he had the inside run. Well, it's all about to happen here at Lakeside. Have a look at this. Jones, Longhurst, Murphy, and Stevie Richards is in there as well.
Jones is, look, that ain't Alan Jones. There's obviously a major problem with Jones.
Stephen Richards just went past 2 of them like they were standing still. He was the big winner out of that in the Valvoline Cummins Commodore. Now he's right on Murphy's tail. That's tremendous driving by Richards.
Richards is sensational.
Stevie Richards, he qualified back in 13th position. He's now running up with the front runners, or the midfielders, I guess you could say. He's right on Murphy, and Murphy's giving Longhurst a good working over.
Yeah, it'd be great to know what's wrong with AJ, because it has to be a tyre problem.
We go further back. I just got a quick glimpse of John Faulkner and Russell Ingall. So this isn't over yet, this battle for the minor placings. It's just going to get hotter. Jones has just gone backwards at a great rate of knots. That would be very frustrating for Alan. We keep our eyes on Tony Longhurst having his race of the year. Stephen Richards was electrifying 1 lap ago through Hungary Corner. He just went past Larry and Alan Jones in the one foul swoop. Now he's got Larry Perkins back on his tail. So 5 laps to run. It was reduced because of the stoppage with Mark Larkham, so a little bit shorter. See what Larry Perkins can do here with Stephen Richards, and likewise Murphy with Longhurst.
Oh, it's getting good. Look at Larry go just about right at the back of Stephen Richards.
The battle for 7th and 8th here. We go. This is the shot from the rear of Russell Ingall's Castrol Commodore. He's managed to work his way past the better electrical entry of John Faulkner. This is the view coming through Hungary Corner. Faulkner, whether he can come back on Russell. He's been doing a very good job working his way up from rear of grid due to that clutch problem, and Perkins has got Richards on the inside. Entry onto the main straight. Perkins now moves up 1 higher. We'll see how Longhurst can go here. He's got 4 laps left to hold out Greg Murphy. Through the carousel they go. Well, we'll see what Greg can do. Tony Longhurst in the last 10 years has won 3 rounds here. He has done a tremendous job. He likes Lakeside Raceway, and he's obviously very efficient and effective here. Down into Hungary. He's pulled out just ever so slightly over Murphy. Still Glenn Seaton. We won't forget about our front runners. It's Seaton, Bow, Johnson and Brock. They're still your top 4. This is where the action's been happening. The midfield battle for 5th, 6th, 7th. We've got 3 laps left to run. Quick glimpse there of Karen Brewer, our female driver. She is the 10th driver to compete in the Australian Touring Car Championship. It's been 16 years since we've had a female race. Last was back in 1981. As we have a look at our race leader, Glenn Seaton in the Ford Credit Falcon. His domination of the 1997 Shell Australian Touring Car Championship, Barry, just keeps on going on.
Well, it does. You know, when you look at his setup, you know, it's not a mammoth setup at all. And exactly as you say, yesterday I was in there, and there's just a bunch of guys with not too much work to do. You know, the car is performing really well, and all they were doing was basically checking everything out and looking after it. No major changes. 2 laps to run now.
He's looking good, John Bow.
John Bow is looking good at the moment.
He is
lapping quicker than Seaton.
He's going very well, so coming on strong. I know that he was still suffering from a slight understeer problem, but it's obviously been better this round than what it has in rounds gone by. We've just got a quick shot there of John Triple in the Bottle Magic entry. He's just up ahead of Seaton. Well, he'll be coming on to his rear bumper very, very shortly.
Well, this could do John Bow a couple of favours. Yeah, right.
Speaking of favours, that clutch problem that
Trimble got out of the way nicely.
Russell Ingall experienced did Glenn Seaton a lot of favours. Ingall's back in 8th, and he is the only real threat to Glenn Seaton's championship campaign. Seaton's got 1 lap to go before he starts today on a very high note in the Ford Credit Falcon, and we'll see what John Bowe can do, because he's bridging that gap ever so slightly. It was about 7/10 of a second last time. Now it's down to about 4/10 of a second, and here comes JB.
Boy, if he can get through there, you'd have to call him Houdini.
This is going to be a very interesting last lap, because he caught right up to the back of Glenn Seaton. Bowe, who hasn't won around here at Lakeside in the last 10 years, and I don't think he's won one here at all. He's been Mr. Consistency this year. Hasn't had too many outstanding results, but he's just been plugging away and still sits in 3rd position. Time running out, though. They come up into the Eastern Loop for the last time. It's a battle of the Fords here at Lakeside. They've been very well represented. Coming onto the main straight, Seaton's going to have enough to hold John Bowe out. It's going to be a Ford Credit victory. Yet again, John Bowe pulls out of the slipstream, though, to give him everything he's got, but Seaton hangs on for the win ahead of John Bowe. A great finish there for both Ford drivers. Dick Johnson, by the looks of things, has hung on to get 3rd place. We congratulate, there's the 2 Castrol Commodores coming home, and Ingall, in fact, beating Perkins home. But there is your victor for race 1. He has done a tremendous job. John Faulkner was top privateer for that, so he had a good run also. But that means that Seaton has won the last 4 races in a row. Here is the Shell Helix race score for you. Glenn Seaton, John Bowe, Dick Johnson, he'll be happy with that. Peter Brock in for 4th, and Tony Longhurst finished from where he started.
Yeah, Greg Murphy in 6th place, Russell Ingall up in 7th, Larry Perkins in 8th, Stephen Richards, great drive from him in 9th, and John Faulkner.